Welcome to the TRG podcast, everyone. This is the podcast where we discuss all matters of relationships that people are suffering from. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the podcast. My name is TRG. This is podcast number 8. On today's podcast, we're going to be talking about how to know when you should have kids. So stay tuned for that right away.
Hello.
Cool, guys. So if you haven't already, if you're catching us on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Also, you can find us on Amazon Music, Spotify, and iTunes. So
You're on iTunes.
I am on iTunes, yes. So let's get this kicked off right away. Cool. So everyone that's listening right now, I'd like to introduce one of my closest friends, Hans. Hans, do you want to just give everyone a little summary about yourself and background?
Sure. My name is Hans. I'm 39 years old. I'm Asian, Chinese, and live in Canada. So what do you want to know, man?
That's the greatest intro I've ever heard. Awesome. So let's jump into it. So Hans is a father of 1, soon to be a father of 2. And really good dad, one of the best dads I know.
Best dad I know too. It's true.
But I think that the magic question that we want to ask is, how do you know when you're ready to have kids? Because your boy is almost 2, I think.
Yeah.
Everett's almost 2.
Like, I don't know if people know like when you're ready to have kids.
Cool.
I actually planned it though. I actually planned to make sure, like, no, it's not a mistake. Okay, I planned, like, okay, I'm reaching 40, I'm 30 something, 30 like 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then, honestly, I just got to make sure that my house was in order first.
Okay.
That was number 1. That was the thing I was really afraid of, is not knowing if I'm going to have the financial stability, or not knowing if I'm going to have the place.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also living in Canada, so first world country, my standards are going to be a little bit high.
You mean in terms of like expenses and like how expensive things are around?
No, not about how expensive. Well, that obviously plays into it.
Yeah.
But more like it's hard to explain. Where when I said first world country, I look around my neighborhood, I look around the houses and the how many bedroom apartments, or how many square footage I need for one house, for 1 kid or 2 kids.
Right.
And then I would just compare. I know it sounds bad to say I'm comparing myself with others.
Yeah.
But I have to be considerate with my wife too. Because if I don't compare, then it means I'm okay with her hanging out with her friends and having them compare, and then make her feel awkward. And she comes home and then she'll be like, in her heart, she might be thinking, oh, maybe if I married someone else, things would have been easier. So I have to put that in consideration too.
Okay. Well, understandable. I guess everyone has different values, and I think that's important that you at least address those things.
Well, that's just my point of view. I mean, like, your question right away in the podcast was, when is the right time to have kids?
Sure. Yeah. I think it's a fair question.
And you said I'm only a father of 1, soon to be 2. So my limited experience is limited to 1 year and a half. 2 years and a half. Sorry. See, you forget how old the kids are.
You forget these things pretty quickly. Yeah, time flies, I guess.
But when I'm just saying, my point of view is when I was going to have kids, I really tried to plan it well so that I wouldn't have to worry about all the embarrassment that may happen to my family. When I say that, like I said, I'll repeat again, my wife will compare herself with other chicks that she hangs out with who may have kids. And you know how some wives are. I don't want to say women, but partners. 2021, you know how some partners are. They'll be like, Greta has this and that and this and that.
So that's, I mean, totally understandable, but I kind of want to rewind to what you were talking about, kind of getting your house in order and making sure that you have like a good foundation and a groundwork. You mentioned a couple things there, and obviously I know this, but listeners don't know that at home. Like, can you explain some of maybe the preparation that you did to like feel confident that you could have a kid, or like provide a good home for a kid?
Well, during first I had to get some kind of a place.
Mhm.
So I first had to get married. I know you don't have to get married to have kids,
Mhm. But
but
that was important to you.
it was because being Asian traditional, honestly, I don't give a shit. I don't care. But but I will care if my Asian mom or Asian parents are like, "Nah, nah, 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 nah,
Right.
nah, nah."
You just don't want to hear the nagging.
And if I hear the nagging throughout the relationship, that would make me a less fun person to hang out with,
Mhm.
and that would cause problems in the household. And I know that. So might as well just get out of the way, do the hard work, be responsible, try to get things systematically done, like all the other examples around me,
Mhm.
all the good people that you see that you think have everything all together, just copy them. Like there's a system in place that works, and we've seen it all the way through the 1400s all the way till now.
Do you feel like you had a lot of good examples of that in your life?
Yeah, that was one more thing. Like,
Okay.
absolutely. I am one of the. I'm pretty old. I'm not that old, but
We don't look it, but we're getting up there.
I'm having kids at past 35.
Right.
So I do have a lot of friends who already have kids, who have 3
Right.
kids, or they're all grown up. They start early. I could not have started early.
Right.
If I did, I would ruin the relationship because my mind wasn't right. I was too young. I played video games all the way to like I was 30. You know, I was not responsible. And even if there was something like building a big household with kids and everything like that, I just probably would have been lazy.
Okay.
Yeah, and play video games while I had a kid.
So you feel like you weren't at the appropriate maturity level in
Yeah.
order to have a kid?
No.
Okay.
No, definitely not.
And you felt like you turned a corner after you hit 30 plus or 35 plus, where you felt like
After I got
can do
married.
that? After you got married?
Marriage
Okay.
was the ultimate test.
Okay.
Yeah, it was moving in together was a test, but getting married kind of was. It was like you know, back in the day there was rites of passages to become a man.
Mhm.
When you're a kid, you reach 11, you go out into the woods with like
Hunt.
yeah, they'll be
Yeah.
like, you don't come back until you've proven yourself, or after 4 days in the wilderness,
Right.
or something. We don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
I guess college, university, school,
Sure.
that could be the rite of passage, I guess.
Mhm.
But I think it's the marriage ceremony that's the rite of passage.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to work with your partner to do something difficult that would test the stress levels of your marriage.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's not even a marriage yet, because there's nothing more stressful than merging 2 families together in a ceremony that's documented and viewed.
Okay.
So
And do you think that was a really important step for your partner?
yeah, for both of us.
Okay.
Now, once you do that, then you think, oh wow, I can do more stuff. That was hard, and we did it together. We worked hard together, and that's what's very important. You work hard together, not by yourself, and you let the other person do things for you.
So it sounds like it was equally balanced between the both of you. It wasn't like a, like kind of one-sided, or like, hey, majority of your intention was, I'm just getting married to appease this other person. But it was pretty equal.
Yeah, it was pretty equal. It's more like, society says, well, back in my day, society says the guy has to propose.
Okay.
Okay. Now, they can propose.
Okay. But that's not what happened.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
So I decided to propose, and right that proposal, I now see, looking back at it,
Mhm.
it wasn't just like, oh, okay, I guess I have to go do it. It was more like, this is me choosing to do something difficult for the rest of my life, because you know what else comes with that.
Mhm.
Of course, you're supposed to think, oh man, the proposal's gonna be great, it's love, and we're gonna be married, and it's gonna be so fun. We're gonna be, a marriage couple. But really, proposal is more like I'm gonna choose to do hard things with you forever, and to thick and thin through hard stuff.
Yeah.
We're gonna be annoyed with each other, but still stick with it and work things through.
Yeah.
That's really what it means, forever.
Mhm.
So I choose you, Charmander. And there you go. Like once I decided to propose,
Yeah.
that's when my mind actually changed. Where I was like, do I want to marry this guy? If I was the chick, would I want to be with this guy forever?
Yeah.
And then that's when I was like, okay, I gotta really make sure to be consistent and doing good shit.
It's certainly a sacrifice both ways, right?
Yeah.
And you want to set a good example for not only yourself but your partner as well.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Going back to you talking about having a kid and everything like that. Yes, you're alluding to the fact that it wasn't an accident or anything like that. Did you feel like did you discuss with your partner like this is what we want like in the next 1 or 2 years after marriage, or did you guys have those discussions about those things?
Yeah, absolutely. We want to have fun. Not single, I meant like without kids.
Yeah.
So we want to have fun without kids for at least like 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and in our honeymoon,
Mhm.
we're gonna start trying. So yeah,
Awesome.
I guess I did it. I did it.
Okay.
So it was a mutual thing, also because the age, not just my age.
Okay.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Her biological age. Hey, I'm not genderizing. Okay, women don't hate me, but I do think it is a fact, a biological primal urge that if you're gonna marry a dude, you're gonna want to think if this dude's gonna be my mate to make good genes, so that my offspring will be healthy. It's more of like a health thing, actually. That's what I think.
Fair enough. Yeah, not having any kind of like
Yeah,
degenerative defects in your family and stuff like that. I'm sure that's an important decision.
It's why guys. It's what I heard. Okay, it's why I think guys look for girls with curvy bodies. It was not because it looks sexier. I think our brains think it looks sexier,
Right.
but only because it looks like childbearing hips. Okay.
Yeah.
I seriously.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think that's
fertile. Yeah.
But at the same time, what comes with children is deep responsibility. It's
right.
like
It is a huge
Spider-Man
responsibility. Yeah. So, I mean,
but I wanted to have children because some people don't want to have children, but I actually really wanted to have children
okay.
to prove to myself that I could be, I didn't have the best family.
Okay.
We're close and everything, but I think my family, my mom and dad could have done better. And, honestly, I think I could have done better. So this is a proof to myself that I can do a better job than my parents did. That's some deep stuff.
So that's a very interesting thing, right?
That was hard for me to say.
And thank you for saying that and sharing that with the audience. I think that was a very interesting thing that I kind of wanted to tap into. So without going into huge details, obviously your parents are separated. They were separated at a pretty young age. Yeah. You and I come from somewhat broken homes, maybe not in the exact same situations, but it's tough, right? And I feel like some people go one way or the other, right? It's either I don't want to have kids because I've had a really bad childhood and I don't want to grow up to be a bad father to someone. But it seems like your mind went the opposite, where it's like, I'm going to prove that I can be a good father to someone. Is that correct?
That's right. That's right. Okay. What happened to my parents, that's on them. I wasn't there. I can't say anything. But and the whole circumstance, I get it. The whole no internet age, that's hard, right?
Yeah.
Kudos to my mom for bringing 4 children to Canada.
Yeah.
So that was single parent, 4 boys. You know, that's pretty awesome. Thinking about it now, that's almost impossible.
Yeah.
But I'm also a little arrogant, so I think that I know that I can do better, and I will do better.
Right.
What does better mean? That's
subjective, I guess.
That's subjective. That's not a tough one.
But it's something that you strive towards, right?
So I want to build a family of my own because I think I can do that. That's pretty much it.
And just for our audiences out there, Hans is a great father. Like, he really is. He really cares. I've known this guy for a very long time, and he's matured by leaps and bounds, like exponentially. He's a very, very responsible person.
Thank you.
So yeah, I just want
But
just wanted to put that out there so listeners at home know that this child is a good head.
All I used to do was just play StarCraft, play video game, play online games. I would actually use my time wisely, and I would think to myself, if I could shave off X amount of time doing this and this and that, that would give me more time to play video games and level up my avatar. Because I'm awesome. And that was the type of guy I am.
Because I'm gangster like that.
Yeah, all the way up to the age of 30, living with my mother.
The dream, living the dream, right?
Yeah.
I'm curious. I mean, you use video games as an example there. Do you regret those times?
Man, do I regret those times?
Yeah.
That's like the butterfly effect question about time. Do you want to go back in time and change things? But if you do,
like what'll happen?
Yeah, because right now, what's happening in my life right now is very good. I'm in a very good place and I love it. If I was to go back in time and change those things, or if I regretted those things, I may not have what I have. Like Iron Man, he may not have his daughter. I don't know. I don't think so.
So it's difficult to say.
Yeah, difficult to say. I can't answer that. But what I do know is here's another question. If I see my child repeating in those steps, would I stop him?
Right. Do you have the answer to that, or you just don't know?
I would.
Or you need time to think about
beat him until he stops.
So you're not going to let him play video games or anything?
No. I honestly think video games is good for you, and I will let him play video games.
Yeah.
But I will do what I didn't do, which was join team sports. Okay. Because if I was doing that, I would have no time to play video games. My time would be allocated somewhere else.
Yeah,
I would play less video games.
I guess you would have another outlet, so to speak.
Like, it really caused problems with my social life, even though I'm very, like, it sounds like
you're an extrovert.
I'm an extrovert. It sounds like it, but I'm not. And then, like, I used to have anxiety attacks.
Really?
Yeah, when I would go.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
When I masturbate. No, I'm kidding. But I used to be like invited to a party or go to a house party or go to a party or somewhere.
Yeah.
And I would drive in front of the house, and in my car, I'd be too nervous to go in.
Oh, wow.
And I would drive back home.
I actually did not know that, audience. So
I would drive back home.
I learn something new every day. Yeah.
I'd drive back home and play video games, and that was bad because it was safe.
Right. It was your safe haven.
Yeah,
it was kind of your getaway.
But it really ate away. It was too addictive. It ate away my soul, and it couldn't. If it wasn't video games, the sad thing is, it would be something else that's not very productive.
Another outlet.
Another quick feel good.
Quick fix.
Yeah, quick fix. And it's not just like the drugs. Okay, it's not the drugs. Quick fix. It would be something competitive, but not really have to deal with real responsibility.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be in a team sport. It wouldn't be a team of something to gain a trophy, to meet new people.
Right.
It would be something like
more active.
A cell phone game, or like
some other
dopamine
releasing.
Yeah. Okay. I would run away from responsibility. That's what it was.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you really feel that way though?
I do. Now I'm old enough and wise enough to admit it. Before, I was thinking to myself, I'm doing this to learn a skill. But the skill was to, honestly, it was to level up fast, finding ways to level up a digital thing faster. Sure, it got me like some skill, but I knew in the back of my mind there was always guilt. And it was guilt of things that I could be doing to progress.
I feel like you should probably give yourself a lot more credit than you actually do. That's just my honest opinion. I mean, there's a lot of things in your life, I feel like, even before you were married and even before you had a kid, that you were taking a lot more responsibility for. For instance, like building up your career or stuff like fitness. Like that's not something to be overlooked. And as far as I've known you, for the majority of the time that I've known you, you work out on a pretty consistent basis.
Yeah, working out is fun. Yeah, but
a lot of people think that and they don't do it right on a routine basis. Yeah. I know personally because this guy's trained me before. So
Stay hard.
he literally has a gym downstairs that he built from scratch. So you can see dedication.
The working out and gym part, that was also when I was started to yeah, you're right. Things started to change after that. Okay. After that, I decided to, why am I working out? Why? What's the whole point? The confidence is so I can start dating, so I can start looking for that thing I wanted to do, which is, I said, try to be a better parent than my parents were. I wanted to build my own family, but how do you do that? First, you need to get laid. And so I started to go date and practice dating, and until I find that one where I don't screw it up with. So the practice was good. It was important, so that when you do find that person, you don't make that person bored. Yeah, you don't bore that person.
Fair enough. Yeah. I don't think you're gonna know until you put yourself out there and go to bat for yourself, right? Yeah.
And it's a start to build. Yeah. And then when I find that person, married, and then back to the kids part. Sorry, I know we went on a tangent talking about kids.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about a couple things, but we were talking about kids. I actually kind of wanted to talk a little bit about, so you guys go on your honeymoon, find out that you're pregnant and everything like that.
We didn't. We're not in the honeymoon part, but yeah, after.
Okay, after the fact.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So obviously, maybe it was a little bit of a surprise to you guys.
Secretly, I don't think it was a surprise to me.
Oh.
I think it was a surprise to her.
Okay. How did you feel, I guess, emotionally that when you found out that?
When I found out, I was excited, scared, heart beating, palms are sweaty, mom spaghetti.
The whole nine.
Yeah. I was sweaty because it was a point of no return.
Right.
Yeah. I was more nervous finding out. I was more happy finding out. If my wife hears this, I was more happy finding out I was going to have a kid than I was when she said yes when I proposed.
Okay.
Because I don't know why I need to explain this, so I won't. Well, maybe because I already knew she was going to say yes.
Oh, because you guys had talked about it before.
I hinted it. But,
you hinted it.
I mean,
but I'm sure you guys. Well, I guess
everybody
had discussions prior to
that. That's true.
Right?
It wasn't a surprise.
Like we're moving in together, and like I'm buying a place together.
I think that's one of the biggest mistakes when people
just spring it on someone.
Yes.
And it's like a life-altering kind of ultimatum.
Yes. Especially in public. That's just me, okay? Especially in public, where they're like, oh my god, people's watching me. I gotta see.
What do I do?
What do I do?
I say no.
Yeah. Brave. Good job for the ones who just decide to crush them in public. Or like, oh, cameras. No, I'm sorry. Because I would say, I would say yes, and then in private be like, no.
Just whisper it to them after.
Yeah. Or wow.
P.S. By the way, here's your rate back. No, that's brutal.
But yeah, what were we talking about?
We were just talking about engagement, emotions, really. After
finding out that I was having.
I found out that you were having a birth.
Yeah, it was good timing too. Like, when I say good timing, I made sure that there was a home. So that was step one. No, actually, there was many steps. But that was step something 5 or whatever.
Right.
But make sure there was a home, so that obviously we have a place to live and we don't have to worry about that burden while taking care of a kid. It's true you can work throughout, but our energy level is only so much. Like we can have all these vitamins, we can have good rest, but there's only so much the mind can take and still stay friendly and happy around everyone around you, so that you're fun to hang out with. If you can minimize the stress by getting rid of things that you already know will cause you stress,
right,
or tension in the marriage, then do that first. Yeah.
So by stable home, I guess let's dive into this a little bit. Like, are you saying that this should be defined as like, hey, I put a down payment on a place and I have a mortgage on a place, that kind of thing? Or are you just talking about like establishing yourself in a community where, hey, like I'm close to schools that my kid would be proud of going to? Like,
not even that step. That's too far.
Okay.
No, I am incapable at that time to think that far ahead. I only thought I need a box place to stay, make sure it's all paid for, or not all paid for. Make sure the payment process is not a headache, and make sure that my wife and my wife's family knows it.
I guess what I'm alluding to, and that's a great point, by the way, so we'll circle back to that. But I guess what I'm alluding to is like, do you think that obviously not everyone is privileged enough to be able to afford a place? And
that's right.
And by privileged, I really want to preface this by saying Hans never, he was never like baller or anything like that. Like he didn't grow up with money. Like there was a lot of sacrifice and hard work and things that went into, and planning that went into getting a place and stuff like that. But do you think that that mental stability is still achievable by people that just rent, for example?
Yeah,
right.
If the renting is not like, you can't be dumb. You can't be renting something that's so high.
Right, like a penthouse.
Just because you want to be in downtown, be cool.
Right. Right. Like you're probably not gonna get a place in Gastown where it's like party district and you're raising a kid there.
Or something like that, yeah. How about this? Make it simple. Just enough to make you and your partner not fight.
Sure.
Yeah, just to be happy and not think about it, not worry about it. If you're worrying about it, then that's added stress. So as long as you're not worried about it. Make it simple. So renting, sure, whatever.
Sure, either renting or buying, but I mean, let's talk about like the actual physical space that you guys are living in. Like, would you define this as comfortable as like, I don't know, like your kid having like a separate bedroom, for example?
Absolutely.
Like,
so things I wish I knew before having 5 tips. No, I can't make them. Things I knew before having a kid and having space. If you have one bedroom only, and a den, and that den is being used already for your gaming space or your man cave or her sewing room, that den will not become that anymore. It'll become the baby room.
Right.
As much as you think you can try to prevent it from it, it's just so much easier if you make a space for the baby, space. So that way you're not always seeing baby everywhere. But you and your wife can have some,
alone time. Let's just put it that way.
Unless you don't mind the baby like just watching.
I don't even know what to say.
But anyways, deciding to have the baby, we knew that we needed to have at least 2 bedrooms. But once again, privileged society, your standards are just a little higher. Let's say. Okay, so
that's fair.
I started out small, just got an apartment.
Okay.
I thought ahead, got a down payment when I was younger on a pre-sale, just so you know, that's the easiest way. Anyways.
He got a pre-sale in a neighborhood that was kind of up and coming and being gentrified.
It was luck and a lot of guts. And of course, luck. Anyways, so got the place, moved in, lived there for a year for fun, like just to be alone, have fun, new place, enjoy it. And then decided, boom, honeymoon, get it on, got the baby. I knew that room would need to be converted into a baby room. So I did that. But at the same time,
he did the renos himself and he painted it and all this kind of stuff. Yeah.
Cheaper. Thanks.
Wow.
Thanks for the credit.
I mean,
so, but I wanted help. So I had the luxury of having such a great, awesome, amazing mother-in-law. Anyways,
she had free babysitting.
Yes, she came and that was the biggest help.
Yeah.
And she helped out. She stayed in that room with the baby and helped out. And that was amazing. It helped so much. So tip number 2, get help. Tip number 1, get space. Tip number 2, get help. If you can't get help because you're poor, yes.
I think
because of economy,
we gotta rewind a little bit here. You're financially constrained and you can't hire help, or maybe you don't live in a city that your in-laws are in.
Yes.
Go on.
You can guess the government might help, but if you're living in a third world country and the government can't help,
then you're just gonna have a single tier.
Then you're gonna have
and
more. Actually, this is why we have the poor have more kids, and you're just eventually gonna have more and more kids. it's really sad. But anyways, let's not go down that rabbit hole. But people have more kids because they need them to help out the family to build more income so that the next generation. It's pretty sad. But we're in Canada, so whatever, right? Every kid, we get money for free from the government.
Yeah, we do.
If your income is lower.
Yeah.
So I have no income.
It's kind of a broken system, actually.
Or you just report lower income. That's how you do it. Rich dad, poor dad. That's what they say in the book. Just like
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah. Sorry. So
tip number 3. That reminds me of tip number 3.
Yeah.
Money again. Sorry, you can't rely on just that one basic income because your significant other won't work during that pregnancy. That's something I actually found I didn't even think about it. My wife thought about it for me, which is why you need to have a partner to help think for you.
Okay.
And I didn't even think about that. I was like, oh shit, my income will now have to support 2 people.
Right.
It's not dual income anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something you just gotta.
Where it's not your only you that you need to support, but you need to think about your kid, your wife, if you're the breadwinner.
That's right. That's right. The good news is, once again, living in a privileged society, you won't go out anymore.
Okay.
So you'll save tons of money.
Yeah.
So it kind of offsets.
So you would say that mainly you stay home to eat most of the time?
Yep. You can't really go out with your newborn. You can, but it's not that fun.
It's probably very tedious and.
I mean, it's fun to just go walk in the park for a little bit, but once the happens, then you gotta go somewhere breastfeed. And if it's like in the winter time, like when I'm breastfeeding, again, my nipples get cold. But when my wife starts breastfeeding, I understand it gets cold. You gotta be indoors, so you could pack everything up, go back home. I'm
assuming you have to pack up like stroller, diaper bag, like feeding bag or whatever, like the breast pump or whatever. Like you have to pack a whole bunch of stuff, right?
That's right.
When you go out, so
that's tip number 3.
It's an ordeal for going out.
Consider the single income or single 1.5. Because,
and how that's distributed amongst more people to feed, more mouths, whatever.
Right. Yeah. And if you did number 1 and 2, then if you did number 2, that means you have help. And if you have that help, that might mean you have to pay that help. Of course, if it's mothers-in-law, they'll be like, no, you don't need to pay me. You don't need to pay me. But really, I'd rather pay them than have them go and nitpick. Because they're going to be helping you. So now they feel
we're
like
striking some chords here.
Now they feel like you owe me, right? Because I'm helping you. And now that I'm in your space, I get to see what's going on, what you're doing, and you can do things a little better, just a little better, you know. Maybe my daughter deserves a little bit better.
Maybe there's some entitlement and resentment friction there. Maybe there's a little bit. Okay.
Yeah. So we were at number 3. Rule number 3 was make sure you know the income. Yes, right.
Yeah, the income is distributed evenly. What about time? Let's talk about that, because obviously when you have a newborn, perhaps your partner goes on mat leave, but it's stressful for everyone, right? Like you're having to work full time and then come back home and
men get maternity leave.
In this country, by the way, everyone.
Wait, other countries, men don't get maternity leave?
No. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Those countries. Oh well, you know.
Yeah. So we're very privileged. I will say that. Yeah.
That's right.
Do you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah. Your time will be eaten away only because you want to sleep.
Right.
Yeah.
Because your baby is up probably at night, or you're having to change him.
But now that my child is 2.5, I realized that even though the toddler or infant stage, they just like cry for a bit and then they go back to sleep. They sleep a lot. So you actually have quite a bit of time. It's just a consistent 4 or 3 hour wake up window. So if you're used to sleeping like 8 hours or 6 hours straight, it's not going to happen, because they will wake up in between those nights. I know some my friend's daughter, she does not wake up in the middle of the night. She sleeps like an adult.
Wow. Angel
more
child.
than an adult, like an old lady.
Wow.
Daytime, afternoon, and just like so easy to take care of.
Wow. That's amazing.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
So their lives did not change. It actually just got better.
Right.
Yeah. But for the normal folk, usually they wake up every 3 hours or 4 hours.
Was that pretty tough for
Yeah,
the
it's tough.
first couple of months?
It's tough, especially like you have to have a military mind. Like
Okay.
in the army, I think they're trained for alertness.
Yeah.
So they'll wake up with energy. I think something like that does happen. That's exactly for me. I was a very light sleeper. Every small like I'd wake up and I'd be like, "You okay? You okay? Diaper okay?
Yeah.
You know, how's the circumcision? Is everything okay?" That's brutal too, by the way.
If you could tell your past, like if your present self could tell your past self anything about what to prepare for, like, is there any advice that you could give them in terms of like the sleep regimen and stuff like that?
A lot of vitamins.
Okay.
I would tell myself that COVID's gonna hit. Man, geez, COVID, man, having a baby. Actually, it's okay. Now I think about it.
Yeah, that must have been complicated.
Quarantine is the same thing.
Yeah, must have been really weird.
Yeah, I know.
Now that I think about it. Yeah.
But if I would tell myself, it would be vitamins, and don't make sure to do deadlifts, strengthen your lower back, and don't get up right away. Roll out of bed.
Okay.
These are my tips.
Just to prevent injury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the worst thing you could do as one of the partners.
Yeah.
Is one of them is down. Like one of them gets hurt.
Injured or
Absolutely.
sick or something.
My wife had a C-section, right?
Oh.
So the healing process is hard, and therefore she's bedridden for a month.
Oh wow.
So within that right away when you bring the baby home, she can't really lift the baby right away.
Right.
Yeah. So I have to do so somebody else has to do it.
Right.
So I would do it, of course.
Yeah.
Because baby's in a room, and man, I hurt my back.
Oh wow.
From getting up from bed.
Oh wow.
Because you're tired, your muscles are tired, you're sleep deprived.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you think you need to get up right away. So
and then you just get up
right away. Yeah.
Right.
Because you're using your abs.
Yeah.
You should literally that term roll out of bed.
You should practice.
Now
that.
you see why they said it. Roll out of bed.
Interesting. Interesting.
Make sure you get lumbar, and then you pick up the baby. Make sure to get the high elevated baby thing where you change the diaper when you sleep.
Oh, okay.
So you don't keep bending down. That was my mistake.
Right.
I got used stuff. Craigslist, Value Village, hand-me-downs. Yeah. So the best.
Save a lot of money that way, I suppose. Yeah.
Or just ignorance, right? You just like, oh man, I was down, but I had to like hold it in.
Right.
And it was tough.
It was
kind of
painful.
bending down. Yeah.
Do you feel like it kills your entire social life? Like in the beginning when you have a kid, like were you able to see friends?
Not like I used to.
Okay.
Yeah. You should know, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't really hang out with my core friends
Or
all
like
the way
till 2
till
in the morning,
2 in the
or
morning.
anything like that. Yeah.
Of course I could once in a while, but
Not on
you
a
have to
regular
start
basis.
considering what the aftermath will be.
Right.
If it was the other way around and I was at home taking care of baby, and for the whole straight night,
Yeah.
and my wife would constantly go out and party and drink and have fun, 2 or 3 nights in a row, I'd be like, man, when's my turn?
Yeah.
It was bad.
Is that something that you miss though, or do you feel like you just grown out of because you become a parent?
I miss it. I miss doing it, but at the same time, I grew out of it because you get used to it.
You get used to
And
it.
it becomes routine.
Yeah.
And then routine becomes comfortable.
Okay.
This is the first time I'm saying that, and it becomes comfortable, and then you end up enjoying staying home instead of going out.
Okay. Interesting.
That's pretty sad.
But
But it's easy. It's easy because the internet.
I think there's some beauty in that.
Yeah.
Do you find that like even your lifestyle and your sleeping schedule is like different? Like do you go to bed at like 10 because your son goes to bed at like 8?
I should be, but no.
No.
I sleep late.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
because I'm greedy and I want to maximize enjoyment.
Right.
So I guess you could say when I come home, I play with kid, play, all you can do is wait for them to go to sleep. And once you go to sleep, it's already like 9 o'clock.
Mhm.
And then you got bath time, you gotta do all that. So you have this window, 2-hour window until 12 midnight.
That's all yours.
Yeah, and you say I'll sleep at 12, but you're like, the next episode. Then it's
Dragon Balls.
yeah, and then you're at 1 o'clock.
It's interesting.
Yeah. And then you just fall asleep.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why I guess might as well have the second child.
Cool. Let's talk about that.
The second
Yeah.
child.
Are you this time around, do you feel like you're
Ready?
more prepared, ready? Like, what are you feeling?
Just like the first child,
Mhm.
I already knew, I'm pretty sure we were going to have a second child. So I had to make sure if I don't go through labor, at least I can go do something else, which is try to make everything else more improved. So last time we got the apartment with the 2-bedroom. So
Mhm.
after that, I knew another additional child, I need a bigger place.
Mhm.
So we went and we got a house. So now we have more space.
Yep.
But you have, just keep trying to build on it.
Cool.
And now we're gonna have the kid,
Mhm.
and now the kid's gonna have their own room, I hope,
Mhm.
or maybe they'll share. It's more fun to share.
I know it's really far in the future, but does this change your partner's life as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess you guys have discussed that. Like, is she gonna go back to work eventually, or is she gonna be a stay-at-home mom?
Oh,
or-
that's I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Remains to be seen. That's
the world
future, right?
changed. The world changed.
Yeah.
COVID hit, and now we're having a COVID baby. Before it wasn't a COVID baby; it was a baby,
Pre-COVID.
and then COVID happened.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. COVID kind of arrived, and now it's actually COVID.
Yeah.
It's now Omicron variant.
Omicron.
Yeah. Sounds like a transformer.
You know, I'm gonna name my first kid. If I could, I'll name my first kid COVID, and then the second kid Omicron.
Wow.
Okay, but anyways, yeah. So that's that.
Interesting.
My relationship with my kids are great, but my relationship with my wife became better.
You think so?
Yes.
Can you? I'm glad to hear that. And I think I echo that sentiment, at least what I've witnessed from you guys. But can you tell the audience why you would think that? Like, what would give you the rationale?
Why I would think that?
Well, do you just feel that way, or do you feel like you can be more open with your partner now about things? You guys have gone through a lot of kind of like trials.
So what was I talking about? A while ago, I was talking about the rite of passage part. So I guess it plays into that. Rite of passage before we hunt and kill stuff. Mm-hmm. So now we do something hard with a partner, which was the marriage. Mm-hmm. And after the marriage, we did something hard again together. Mm-hmm. And that was getting a place, moving in together, and then something hard again, which is having a child. And that was really hard. It made all the other things we thought was hard easy. So once you do something hard again and work really hard together, your confidence level just keeps increasing of the world, of what else you can accomplish and do. And we just start doing more. You know, back in the day, a long time ago, in my parents' age, or my grandfather's age, they did really hard stuff when they were young, like when we were 16, 14. The hardest thing we did was
get up on time to go to school.
Like realistically, the hardest things we did were write essays.
Sure. Yeah.
The most getting into like doing thesis or something, or whatever, or a really hard job. Yeah. Which was probably the hardest job I had was like recycling people.
I remember that job.
But anyways, we're going off topic.
Yeah.
So now I see if we did something hard, doing something hard makes you do more things hard because you impress yourself and impress each other. And if you do it with someone else, like with my partner, my wife, then you think that you can do more hard things together because there's a trend.
Interesting.
So having a second kid.
I want to talk a little bit about I guess how your respective families perceived everything when you guys got pregnant. Like, did you talk to your mom about this before? Hey, I'm gonna have a kid. Like, I'm gonna get married. Like, this is what's happening. Like, did you ever have any of those discussions?
Yeah, like of course they hinted like, oh, when are you gonna have the second one? Then we just kind of chuckle it off.
Right.
But I wanted to time it right, or
Okay.
we wanted to time it right, so it's not, the gap is not too far apart. That's pretty much it. And then we did that 3-month rule when you can't
Tell anyone.
people,
Yeah.
because of the shame. If something ever, God forbid, happens.
Yeah.
Shame. But I told people.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I told you.
Yeah, you did tell me. That's true. Yeah.
I got excited.
Yeah. Something you should be proud of, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. That's
Thank you,
amazing.
man. I really appreciate it.
Nice. Is there any other tips that you want to talk about regarding marriage?
Marriage? Oh, no, we were talking about
kids.
having kids. So,
I think they're I mean, they're not like mutually exclusive. Like,
no, come on. Like, youngsters are gonna watch this and be like, "How dare you think you need to get married? You don't need marriage for kids."
That's true.
That's for what's that word? Where you refer to older generation people? That's for boomers.
Yeah, that's for boomers.
Whatever boomer.
Yeah, whatever boomer.
That's right.
I mean, I guess more so.
It just makes things easier. Honestly, come on, man. Seriously, if people who say, "No, man, I don't need to go through that trap," people are gonna talk behind your back. You'd be like, I'll ignore it. But forever, it's gonna be there. Why not just get rid of it? Squash it, you know what I mean? So, it's not that hard. Just sign some papers. Yeah, you just go to London Drugs. We went to Shoppers Drug Mart. And then literally, they give you that certificate form saying that you're gonna get married.
Really?
Yeah, you get it at Shoppers. Was it Shoppers? Yeah, it was Shoppers. London Drugs, sorry. London Drugs, just a convenience store. And then and they're like, oh, you get married? Cool. And they're ready. They're like, here you go, man. Here's the paperwork.
Wow.
It's like that. And then
did not know
pay.
that.
And what you're doing is you're paying the government to register that you are officially married. And the government files it and it's there forever.
Wow.
It's that.
That's crazy. Just that little documented piece of paper.
The ceremony.
Of course, you had a wedding and everything like that.
Yeah,
I was there. It was a great wedding.
Just for show. There's no real reason for that. But that show.
But I mean, it's symbolic in nature, right?
Symbolic.
Like I'm guessing you guys had a really fun night. I did.
Yeah,
personally.
Fun night.
Yeah.
It was hard. It was crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on and stuff. But
yeah,
it's memories.
I said tip number 1 was get your house in order.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, for the kid. Tip number 2, what was it? Get help if you can.
Yeah.
Tip number 3 was think about the finances of having one income, 1.5. Tip number 4, I never said anything, right?
No.
Yeah, I know. I just thought of it.
Maybe mentally prepared or time management. One of them.
Tip number 4 was vitamins.
Sure.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Keep healthy.
And roll.
Vitamins.
And
roll out of bed.
Yeah.
Don't injure yourself because you make the other person do all the work. If you do that, just like in any other job. You guys are a partner and you're supposed to ease the burden off each other. That's what you're supposed to do.
Awesome.
Yeah, and if you keep doing that, it's kind of like being in the army. Your job in the army is to watch out for your six, for your other dude. And if they have that same mindset and everyone has the same mindset, then you're in the team. You're one unit. That's that. 5, know that it's gonna get worse.
Okay, anticipate that it's gonna
it gets worse.
More difficult
It gets
before
more
it gets easier. Yeah.
And because it gets more difficult and you already know it, you're prepared for it and you feel better at it, and you just harden yourself. You just get you callous your soul.
I'm curious about one thing because we don't have that much time left in the podcast, but
it's great.
Do you ever reflect on some of the times when you had more freedom?
Yeah.
And what would you tell listeners about that? versus now that you're married?
If for those who do plan on having children or have children, if you don't have the help, or if you do, you will eventually get that freedom after your kids get older. So I've been told. That's sad. There's no. I make my own freedom by working out. That's my alone time, and then that's the best thing you can do, really.
So I guess for listeners, like, not all is lost. Like, Hunt does have his own free time. His partner does have her own free time.
Yeah, we got 3 hours.
What they want.
3 hours a day.
You know, I guess they maximize the amount of time that they have, and they're efficient with those things. I think that's important.
3 hours a day.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
There's some people that are workaholics that don't get 3 hours themselves.
No. Let's be realistic. I know we don't have a lot of time, but I choose to have 3 hours a day.
Okay, well, talk about that.
Because
How do you do that?
I could choose to have 4 hours or 5 hours.
Sure.
When I come home, I actually have like more hours. But by doing that, that means you're taking away time to do things like bond with your loved ones, your children.
So you're spending that time with your kids, or you're actively spending.
You're spending that time to do something productive.
Right. Okay.
Like prepare their meals, prepare your meals, clean the house, fix stuff.
Right.
Making things easier. You're actually using the time to be productive.
Okay.
But it's not like fun enjoyment time.
So it's like household improvements and other things that you can
improvements,
into.
Not just household, just improvements, things that you need to work on. You know,
okay.
Like work.
Okay.
But household work, family work, whatever work.
Is there a laundry list? Like, how do you prepare for that, or how do you determine that? Do you write down a list of priorities that you need to do?
No, I don't write down a list of priorities.
Okay. Just comes in your head?
You start to do trial and error and ask your partner again, to have them check you and you check them.
Right.
What needs to be done, and have they been done yet? And can I do something to help you? And the answer is usually yes. There's always something to do. And then we do that until a certain amount of time, and then we allow ourselves 3 hours to have fun.
Good.
To do stuff like this right now. That's my 3 hours, and it's fun, and I choose it.
I'm honored that you're here in the podcast and you're so open about it. I appreciate that.
You know, I didn't even think that was a podcast. It was just like having fun.
Just chatting. Yeah. That's great.
Again.
You know, with the remainder couple of minutes left here, do you have any advice to listeners at home that are maybe new parents or are planning to be new parents? Anything else of words of wisdom that you might want to...
just be nice to each other. Just be nice. Be kind. Always ask. Even if you're tired, bluff, and just be like, is there anything I could do to help you?
Yeah.
And just pray they say no.
Pray they lie to you.
But you asked. It means you're ready to handle whatever they say.
Right.
Yeah, I'm ready for you to talk about my feelings. And then you're like, so am I. I was waiting for that. That
was the opening.
I don't need to watch my new favorite show. You know? So, but actually when you do stuff like that, you will like it. You'll feel good. You'll feel better, and it gets easier, and it snowballs. And so, you know, doing something good every day, like something better, just a little bit, realistically, it's going to help. It just makes things less stress.
This could be a whole other episode, but you know, I think that what would be important to leave audiences off with is like, do you guys do anything special? Like, do you have a date night? Like, is there a ritual that you guys have? Or
another. If I had the last tip, if you don't have help, train someone who can help. It's so important because you need to drop your kids off to have a alone night.
Right.
To go out on a date, to go eat. So who's going to take care of the kids? You need someone that you trained. Do it subtly. Do it sneaky if you will have to. Here, like a friend, be like, I go to your place, I drop off the kid. Oh, I got to go out. Do you think you can watch him? I don't know what to do. You'll figure it out. And I leave. If I do that enough, you'll start getting.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'll become.
And you'll start developing love for my child. And I can one day drop my child off at your place, knowing that you will take care of them because you haven't passed.
Right.
And you weren't ready for it, but I threw that on you.
So you feel like you've conditioned someone
Yeah,
to
my
do
mom.
that? Okay.
Yeah, my mom. So she's pretty old, so I gotta be careful. She can't lift up my my son.
Yeah.
But I have to think about that and make things all shorter, like all the tables shorter, everything, so that my mom doesn't have to lift them up.
Right.
So these things allowed me and my wife to go out to eat, and I can just drop off my kid there. You know, I don't care what people say. Just put YouTube on. You know,
Right.
let them watch it for like 3 hours.
How can I ask how frequently do you guys plan to do that? Because I know some couples that have like a date night once a month.
Only once a month.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean I mean for most couples that I talk to, that's pretty standard. Once a month. They give themselves once a month. Yeah.
And then I get to go out and hang out and do my stuff. Also like sometimes once a week or twice a month. Yeah, she gets to do that too.
I mean, I typically see you once a week or once every other week.
And that's the other thing. If you have a house, if you can work up to that, you can not go out and you can invite friends over.
Right. Making it a lot more convenient.
Yeah, and it gives you more time to hang out and drink and play. Yeah.
Right. So this is an investment, really.
Yes.
Not only for your family, but for your own social life.
It's not easy. It's not easy, especially with my background.
Yeah.
But you gotta do it so that you can have that easier life.
Right.
No, that's the whole point. Right. So you don't like get stressed and angry and stuff and get a heart attack.
Well, I mean, we can talk about a whole episode of that, but I mean,
chatty.
No, we are chatting, but I think it's important for people to understand that you have to level up, right? And you have to keep looking at that. Like you didn't start off like from here to a house, but you know, you slowly graduated, like saved up money for you know, pre-sale, and then moved into that pre-sale, and then sold it obviously for whatever amount, and then you got yourself into a house and so on and so forth. So I think everyone at home
sold my virginity. I was kidding. Yeah, but I did not do that. But
okay.
But yeah, so next time.
Cool. So really no parting words except
subscribe.
I think before that, I think the most important thing that I could probably leave everyone off with is parenthood, I think, is not for every single person. No. I think that you really have to, at least this is from my personal experience, I don't have any kids, but I think that it's a very big decision to make for yourself, not only for yourself, but your partner. And it's something that no one's ever going to give you a handbook on how to be a perfect parent. But I think that you have to have a right mindset in order to at least have the idea of conceiving a kid, because it's not something that you ordered from Amazon where you can just return it, you know, like a day later if you're unhappy with it or exchange. But we hope not. Anyways.
You can abandon them. You can just give them up for adoption. You could report that you're a bad parent.
Sure, absolutely. But I think that I would say that most parents hopefully would go into the situation with a proactive approach.
Yeah.
Trying to be part of someone's life.
That's right.
And there's no shame in the fact that if you're not ready to do that, right? You might not, maybe that'll happen in a couple of years. You know, like Hans was mentioning that he started off late, and even when he turned 30, you really didn't think that you were ready at that point. Like
no. If I did have children, I don't think it would have worked out well. It may have eventually, you know, who knows, right? But it's just bad start.
Right, at that point in your life.
There may be a lot of conflict within the marriage.
Right.
Maybe.
Right, and made things more difficult for yourself. Yeah. Cool. Thanks so much for being on today, Hans. Hopefully you had fun and, you know, got to share a little bit with the audience and stuff like that.
I loved it. Next time, I would love to do more.
Awesome. If you're watching us on YouTube, thanks so much for watching, everyone. You can like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, ring that notification bell. Really like to hear from you guys about your adventures and, you know, thoughts about having kids, not having kids, and what you thought about that. You can also download us on iTunes, Amazon Music, and Spotify. So till next time, we post every Monday, Wednesday. You'll find our podcasts on the channels that I just named. See you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.